Hey everyone, how's it going? It is either way Randy Chavez coming at you today with a Veve Omi Earth 2 update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, and smashing that super thanks button down below. And become a member and join Patreon and Raythax.eth domain name as well. So we're going to start off with Earth 2, as always. And Earth 2, we do have Shane, excuse me, we do have Shane saying, I hope everyone enjoyed some quality time with their families and loved ones over the Easter break. Over the weekend, I managed to better a record rating more than 4x my daily ether detection from my little test account. And you do have other people. I think Dive Jedi had like triple the amount of ether he gets every day as well from rating. People keep rating my account and wish they would stop. Anyway, I think my team did a good job on the specs for the first version. Smaller accounts can find some big upside and larger accounts can still manage with a good strategy, though obviously civilians and slotting will help, followed by P2P contracts later. Can't wait for that. The CAT has been more or less completed, the review of all claims, and we're drawing close to the final processing of approvals on the first E2 PRV initiative. It's important to note that, as I have mentioned in the past, the CAT has been extremely generous with approving claims, but it starts to get difficult approving claims when the evidence provided was not only weak, but also a place hundreds of kilometers away, or in many cases, a completely different country. Now, I'm not saying it was like northern US and southern Canada where things are right next to each other, or southern US and Mexico, but maybe possibly completely different countries in US and you're claiming somewhere in like Abu Dhabi. More details will be released in an upcoming announcement, but we cannot completely ignore blind staking, and though I imagine more will benefit from it than not, there will always be some losers. Remember, there was definitely an element of collaboration with staking, where many players collaborated together before a claim was posted. They spent time researching and planning their claim staking strategy together, but then other players would take risk and try to sneak in, myself included, to stake those claims before collaborating. This is one of many scenarios and strategies, but probably the most prominent, which is why I'm making a specific reference to it. At the end of the day, the system we built gave every player the same opportunity, even the smaller players, and we did try to adjust some things where possible. Nothing in life will be completely fair. The first release of E2 PRV really was a unique opportunity, especially given the reward at stake, and many will have benefited greatly from it. I was in the same position as everyone else with my very small test account, limited time, hardly any essence, and a lot of blind staking. I still managed to grow my essence balance from 4 to 56 before any rejections, which is incredible. It's a 9x, disregard. That is a 14x. Maybe I got lucky, as many others did, but there were always going to be some rejections which had to come at the end due to the fact that even weak, illegitimate claims could be approved if they were lucky enough to fall inside the boundary of a different successful claim. So we could only process rejections, and all approved claims were processed. On a closing note, remember during the craziness of staking, I said there was another income reward system that was more slow-paced and easier to participate in, and now we have it, rating, and there is more to come. So, as for more features roll out, players will constantly be faced with decisions on what they want to focus on, as opposed to being able to do everything as we agreed, working toward Earth 2 version 1, and our long-term goals in the background. I cannot wait for Essence. Anyway, we're going to move on to Omi, and then we'll go from there. The crypto market in general did fairly well today. Bitcoin up 4.7%, Ethereum up 3.4%. All of the top 10, all of the top 20 had gone up. So it was anywhere from up 0% to up 4.7. I think Bitcoin was the main winner. We're gonna check out Omi, which was number 182 the other day. It had dropped to number 195 as other things have gone up, and Omi has kind of stayed the same. Omi's actually down about 1.7% to 00074. It was 00073 at some point yesterday, so I'm not sure what time this was referencing, because at last night I did wind up buying a little more, but I have like 159.2 million. So I don't have that 160 yet. I'll try to get that in the next couple weeks. Like I said, I am going to be very busy, so we'll see what happens. Volume on the day, not great, but better than we've seen. 724,000 in trading volume as opposed to like the 650 that we've been getting. So that's not bad. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, this is the bad thing about exchanges or the bad thing about Omi not being on exchanges is that when everything goes up, Omi kind of stays the same. One of the good things, or one of like the silver linings, is if everything goes down, Omi would only go down a little bit. It wouldn't really necessarily follow the markets that way. It's usually not tied to Bitcoin in general, but again, this is just a symptom of lack of exchanges. I imagine we'll get more at the end of the year, but again, that's just a thought. Anyway, we do have from NFTnewstoday.com, which I think is a fairly decent website. They had a whole article saying, discover the potential of Veve marketplace NFTs. And it looks like it'll take a couple minutes to read, so I won't go through everything here. But again, you could just go to nftnewstoday.com and you will be able to see collectibles, discover the potential of Veve Marketplace NFTs. And I thought that was really cool. Anyway, also, it was 2 years ago today that Earth-2 decided to make me into an NFT. So I thought that was really cool. There are two of me out there, kind of a weird photo. I had lots of, I had a lot less hair, but I just thought that was pretty dope. When will they do that with Veve influencers or just people that make videos or popular in the community? I do think that is one of the things that could happen with the ambassador program that should launch later this year. I think they'd want to have the Veveverse out first before they do that, but we'll see what happens. I'm pretty excited. Comment down below who you want to see in that Veve ambassador program, and also comment down below what things you think they should do. Speaking of things that we think that Veve should do, Brockman Blockchain says, hey Mitch, MCP level 20 and above plus KYC equals transfers back. I think he's just trying to fit everything into one particular thing. So basically saying, hey Mitch, I would really like it if you had an MCP level 20 and above and you were KYC'd. If you do both of those things, I think it would be really great to get transfers back. He said it'll allow community giveaways, community art show, onboarding new users, gifts, and more. And I think, yeah, that'd be great as well. When me and Taps were at DesignerCon in 2021, I think we had Veve Fambam's son that was there who Taps just gave something to. And then you happen to have, again, I did videos every single Sunday. It was giveaways every single Sunday. And it was great. The community loved it. And I think that type of thing would be pretty fun. And I'm not saying just give it to the influencers, but if you want to give it to people that have gone on and gotten their MCP on and have clearly invested a lot in this, you could use, if they had transfers and you just like used a bot or whatever, bots could obviously use that to launder, bot at one place and transfer to something else to a legitimate account. But you really wouldn't want to do that if you have an MCP level of 20 or higher, because again, then if you're caught doing that and your account gets locked up, what happens? What happens is that you lose a lot of money. You lose a lot of stuff. So I think that's a pretty good idea. And then we had someone named White_Veve says everyone should be able to do transfers unless the idea is to prevent bots. It seems silly to make this feature that has to be unlocked, but I'm assuming it's disabled for the same reason we don't have interoperability. And then he goes on and continues. Brockman Blockchain says, I can see not allowing new users to transfer right away. It stopped bots from creating burners and moving things around. People with higher levels would put their valuables at risk to do dumb things. So I think that fixes a lot of what ifs. And then White says, I'm hoping to see the waitlist really wipe out bots for the most part, which would remove the need to gatekeep such a basic feature. I think so as well. And we have Chris Severs, who says, today's Veve I'm staying grab, which is, I guess there's like a community, a sub-community out there that says like, oh, people want to leave. It's okay. I'll buy. And you just get, I don't know, like me in conjunction. I should be part of that group because like I literally told people, hey, I'm your exit liquidity. You have Omi on the app you want to get rid of? Sell it to me. You have Marvel Mighties that you want to get rid of? Sell to me. And more on those Marvel Mighties later. But Chris Severs says, damn close to perfection. He's talking about Marvel Comics 1939 because that is the Marvel Comics #1, but it was released in 1939. He got number 19,309 instead of the 1,939. Is almost perfect, but he basically just goes and says, thanks Veve, thanks Marvel, thanks everyone else, Mr. MC1 for these beloved digital collectible pieces. Fandom acts of kindness. That was pretty cool. Speaking of Veve, we have an announcement from them. The Platinum Moments update, the poster redemptions as of 9 April, so this was yesterday, was Donald Duck at 121 posters, Minnie Mouse had 158 posters, Dumbo 175, and Mickey Mouse 179. These are the scarcest Disney posters out there. You could make the argument that the Black Panther one is technically Disney, even though it is a Marvel Corp. It's under the Disney umbrella. That only has 101 of them. But these are the scarcest. These are insanely scarce right now. Anyway, moving on. Yesterday, here's where we're talking about some of the Marvel Mighties. Yesterday, we had Mr. Pags list his sub 50 Sam Wilson. That is the Falcon, who does become Captain America, for 50 gems. And typically what I see with the Marvel Mighties in general, as long as it's not the Eternals are their own different ballgame because there's a lot of them. Not many people like them. I have the whole set, but yeah, not many people like them. So they don't really apply to this. But generally what I see is whatever the floor is, if you have an appropriate amount of collectibles, whatever the floor is, the sub 100 is usually 10x the floor if it's a common. Where this tends to break down, and the sub 50s are usually like 1.5x, times that. Sometimes even 2 times that. But where this breaks down is when you have something like Sam Wilson, which has 18,888 of those collectibles. That is a lot. That means that, okay, if you wanted to try to stack Sam Wilson, you would need 189 of them to have 1%. That is nuts. As opposed to something like, let's say, M'Baku. M'Baku has 4,200 of him, so you only need 42 to have 1%, as opposed to having 189, which is heckin' ridiculous. That's 4x anyway. But that means the sub 100s are that much greater, in my opinion. The sub 100s are something that is, if you only have 4,200 mints, let's say like M'Baku, then the sub 100s, they're still cool. There's still only 59 of them, numbers 41 through 99. But they're not as special as they are for something like a Steve Rogers or something like anyone else that had, in that particular one was 18,000. In the Fantastic Four one, they had like 28,000. That was heckin' ridiculous. So those sub 100s are super scarce for them. They're super special. So yeah, getting this for $50, in my opinion, was a steal. I even messaged Pags, I was like, hey, was this yours? Are we good? And so it was like the center of a lot of controversies because everyone's like, oh, this is a horrible, there's a horrible thing Mr. Pags is selling, let's all get out. And it's like, guys, it's just one person's trash is another person's treasure. I will 100% be on board with buying other people's treasure. If y'all have any Sam Wilsons that y'all want to get rid of, if y'all want to follow Mr. Pags and you want to go, and again, he has his reasons, I'd imagine, whatever they are, I don't know. We haven't talked about it in a while. But if you want to follow Mr. Pags and you have any Sam Wilsons or Steve Rogers or whatever they are, sub 50s that you want to get rid of for 50 gems or less, let me know. 100% buy them from you. Speaking of Marvel Mighties and Marvel in general, Marvel Studios had posted, actually I think I might be able to go in and play this. Oh God, I'm so sorry. The camera was still rolling. I didn't know it was rolling. I'm sorry. Fair use act. Here we go.
Where's Captain Rambo?
I'm so excited for that. So that's basically the teaser trailer. It will be released on Good Morning America, probably by the time you guys see this video. It will be released on Good Morning America on the morning of 11 April 2023. You get the first trailer for that. So he's talking about Captain Rambo, as in Monica Rambeau. So that little girl that you saw in Captain Marvel 1, she's all grown up. If you haven't seen, not Wakanda Forever, if you haven't seen WandaVision, she's in that, all grown up. She, has like these awesome Captain Marvel type powers. And she's, I guess Nick Fury is friends with her still, and they do some really cool stuff. And if you didn't see, I don't know if I can do spoilers. Long story short, it's called The Marvels. So you have Ms. Marvel, which is going to come over from her series. That was a really great series. 9 out of 10 recommend that. That was so good. So you have Monica Rambeau, you have Captain Marvel, you have Ms. Marvel, and you're going to have Marvel Mighties for these. You are probably going to have Marvel Mighties. There was Tropical, I think, and she had said that she was pretty close to going and getting some more. Let's see if I have a screenshot of it. Maybe I don't. But she had said she was going to go get more, and she was very close to completing her Marvel Mighties. I think she just needs the Howard the Duck, like the Deadpool Marvel Mighties, and she's done. I was like, well, be advised, next month we're probably going to get more for Guardians of the Galaxy. You do have a bunch of people there that they can make into Mighties. And then a bunch of people, obviously, in November 10th is that the Marvels movie. Anyway, moving on. We have Sergio Rodriguez post on the Facebook saying, Veve is dead, in quotations marks. And it says, well, the reality is that the total amount of gems purchased over the last week was 725,746 gems. There were 651,833 unique owners, meaning, and there was an additional 67 people that had gotten the app in these 6 days from the 3rd to the 9th. Then you have the secondary market sales, which was down to 34,488. Collectible sales were down about 9,800, and the comic sales were up to about 13,800. And what does this mean? This means that even though we do have, yes, for the first time in quite a while, we did not make 1 million gems in 1 week. It is, I don't know, 750,000 gems in 1 week, and that's like the worst week that we've had in years. I feel like it's not that bad, especially when we have more unique owners and more comic sales, just more activity in general. In my opinion, that's how I interpret it, but comment down below your thoughts. And then we have Crypto Robbery saying, OGs will remember this time period waiting for interoperability reminds me of when we're waiting for Veve Marketplace to open up. It felt like forever at the time, but eventually it came and we forgot all about it. Why So Serious responds, it's only been 2 years since the app. So many fights, everyone forgot, like moving to ETH or the web app, the confirmation of Disney Star Wars. I bet in 2 to 3 years, we will have big Veveverse and everything everyone wants. We just need patience. I'm not gonna lie, I agree 100,000%. If you weren't here 2 years ago when we were trying to get that Cryptkin drop, you couldn't. The marketplace was closed. Marketplace closed down for like a couple months. You couldn't really buy anything. You had to do stuff you had to buy stuff on eBay. You had to hope that the person that was on eBay was legit and they wouldn't just take your money and run. They'd have to transfer it to you. It was heckin' crazy. And then when the marketplace finally did open, we had one drop every 2 weeks, sometimes every 4 weeks. It's like, oh my God, come on. People didn't believe we had Marvel. They're like, yo, come on, bro. We got these little tiny unicornos, and yeah, we have Cartoon Network, which is cool. Yeah, we have, Universal, which is cool, but the, DeLoreans didn't sell out. Dude, people got nuts with it. People got insane. We would have countdowns on our streams where we'd be like, oh, yo, Catwoman's about to sell out. What's in her safe? And it was lunacy. And when the app finally did have a drop, you couldn't get on. He had the exact same experience that Earth 2 had. Too much growth in too little time. The app couldn't handle it. The app would crash. The amount of FUD was ridiculous. Like, oh my God, Veve's never going to be like, they have to fix this or the app is dead. App is dead, guys. They're losing. And like, this is clearly not the app. People are very, very, they get the diagnosis wrong almost every time because they don't have experience in this. Take a look at people who've had experience in this in other metaverses and other apps like this where we've experienced hyper growth. It happens. And, this growth maybe isn't moving fast enough. The growth is maybe too quick at some points. Technology moves a little too slow for others. People are impatient. I'm still here. I've never sold. I've never sold OMI. I've definitely sold some NFTs. But anyway, guys, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Bye. Meow, meow.